Eric here at TeamEccenTrick, and I'm bringing you guys another dual commentary video. This time it is me on the right playing Mermails, obviously with my Spellgrower on Matt and Connor on the left playing his SALAMANGREAT. Really excited to kind of do this matchup only because I haven't tested Mermails in a little bit, especially on film, and I figured that you know, now would be a good time to test them. You know, as the game is in kind of a healthy state, I can actually play Mermails and not get absolutely blown out of the water. And the thing about Mermails is they're still pretty decent. They still have a lot of strong opening two-card combos and things like that. But I normal summon the Neptibus because I'm going first. Pay the cost, send the Dragoons. Add the Dragoons, and then I trigger the Dragoons. And I originally think to add the Megalo, but I reconsider and add the lead because I have a 3-card combo that I'm about to show you guys that allows me to establish a pretty decent turn 1 field. So I reveal Teus, ditch the Dragoons. Dragoons 1, Teus 2, so Teus adds the Gund, and then Dragoons adds the Moon Glacier. Playing Mermails is just so nostalgic for me. So I use Swap Frog, send lead, and then Swap Frog effect on field, send Ronin, pay cost for Swap Frog, return to the hand. Swap Frog, special summon, ditch the Gund, and then I special back the lead, and then Swap Frog effect on field, send the Swap from deck to grave. So this is essentially one of my favorite combos going first. I have the 5 waters, so I special summon the Moulin, rip 2 cards from his hand. So I send one of the cards is a Foxy, definitely a good starter for him, but I ripped it out. So and then also SALAMANGREAT Rage, one of his better trap cards. I use lead to tribute the Teus to rip another card from his hand. Rip the SALAMANGREAT Circle, and after that I link into Linkuriboh. Banish for cost for swap to special back the Ronin, and then I overlay and I go into the Toad, and then after that I actually drew the equip spell here and I activated on the lead, and then I set a card. The card that was set was a Call by the Grave. I used the Toad to special summon a Swap Frog from the deck, by the way. So essentially I have complete control of the board there, and Connor just decides to scoop it up. We are, you know, obviously, like I said in previous videos, we are timing our duels now, so, you know, it's smarter to scoop it up if you just don't have any way out. That way you're not playing, you know, you're not playing down the clock or you know, anything like that. Because if we see slow playing on the camera, we just don't post a video and things like that as kind of the punishment, I suppose. But, so now we're going into game 2 and we side, and, I will be bringing you guys a Mermail deck profile, at least kind of like what I've been testing with around, you know, kind of what I've been testing around with lately. I have a good side deck theory with the Frog engine, as well as the the Psyframe Gamma engine, because if you know, the Frog engine in the Mermail deck, as well as the Psyframe like hand trap engine, it's exactly the same amount of cards. So like obviously you use the Swap Frogs normally for going first, so you can side them out if you're going second, and then have more access to, you know, hand traps and things like that. Or at least that's the way that I look at it. I mean, I figure it's good side deck theory in order, you know, to counter your opponents if they're going first. But I also, you know, my side deck is more geared towards like just countering my opponent's plays, and just you know, just having all the necessary ways to stop them in like mid combo or mid whatever. You know, I mean, most of my side deck cards are, I mean, I have like sphere modes and things like that, and then I have one side deck option I'll have to show you guys in the deck profile that is more so for going first. It's the only like going first option, I suppose you could say, that I have in the side deck. But either way, I feel like my side deck right now is pretty decent. There are a few cards I would switch out, maybe change, but you know, that's got to go into further theory crafting and things like that, and I got to kind of consider you know, our current format and which decks are more threatening to me than which ones aren't. So so we're going into game 2. And you can see that like my Mermail deck, again, it's very basic. You know, it's straight to the point, just Mermail Frogs. There's nothing crazy special. You know, there's no crazy combos. This just just exactly what exactly what I've been playing. So Connor starts first. He activates Salamangreat Circle to get a search. I allow it to go through. He gets the Gazelle, normal summons the Gazelle, he attempts Effect, and I respond with Gamma. See, yeah, the Psy-Frame engine honestly is really, really good, only because not only does it negate the monster, it can't be called by the grave, and it destroys the monster. So, and if you manage to do it on your turn, you get to go into the Psy-Frame, Psy-Frame Omega, which allows you to rip another card from your opponent's hand. Which is actually not that bad for me, because it has happened where I Moray and then somebody tries to Ash and then I go Gamma. So that's a thing, but now it's my turn. He has 3 sets and a set field spell. I go Battle Phase and Battle Phase evenly matched, and he chains Circle. Kind of a bit of a blowout. Just absolutely ruins all of Connor's advantage, essentially. Evenly matched is such a good card, to be quite honest. As long as your opponent doesn't have a way to respond to it, it literally just ruins any attempt of a board that they build. So I normal summon Diva, attempt effect, special summon the Neptibus, pay the cost, send the Dragoons, add the Dragoons, and then I attempt to trigger the Dragoons, and he chains the Called by the Grave to banish and negate the first Dragoons I try to trigger. Basically, that slows my entire turn down quite a bit. I still have a lot of plays I could make, but I figure that it's smarter to just kind of play conservatively and go into the Linkuriboh, and just kind of like wait it out, because there's not really too much he can do that will like OTK me or anything. But he normal summons the Spinny and links into the Balinks, and then he, because he sent a Salamangreat to the grave, he special summons the Gazelle from hand, and then Gazelle's effect. See, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have played as conservatively, because I had the Teus, the Dragoons, and I believe a Gamma Seal in my hand. I'm not too sure, but I had plays that I could have made. I just feel like playing a little bit more conservatively in that point was probably would have been the smarter play. But he special summons the Spinny from grave after sending them Roar, goes into Magistelio, detaches, which locks him into fire monsters for the turn. And he special summons the Jack Jaguar. The thing about Salamangreat is they are very strong. They have cards that just do very simple things, but overall, like just the way that they recur advantage and things like that, just by reincarnate linking and things like that, or reincarnation linking or whatever it's called, things like that. It's just really strong, and it allows you to keep reestablishing boards of trap cards and disruption. So he uses, after he links up with the Magistelio, he sends back my Linkuriboh and then links into another Balinks, and then uses the Sunlight Wolf that he linked into to add back the Gazelle. So now he has Salamangreat, Sunlight Wolf, and Balinks on board. He links 3. Goes into another, or links 2 rather, he goes into another Sunlight Wolf, sets a card, and then he adds back the Salamangreat Circle, both off of Sunlight Wolf. Because he used Sunlight Wolf as a material to summon another Sunlight Wolf, he gets to recur things, which is really, really strong. So he uses Jack Jaguar effect, basically shuffling back the Magistelio and then special summoning Jack Jaguar to a Salamangreat Link Monsters link marker. So Jack Jaguar and Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf are on the board. I only have 1 Diva, and he spun back my my Linkuriboh using the Magistelio's effect when it's used as a link material, and then after that he attacks with both Sunlight Wolf and Jack Jaguar, leaving me with no board presence. So he passes and I draw. I kaiju over the Link Monster. I figure that that's one of the best things you can do in order to out the Salamangreat trap cards. I reveal Teus and ditch the Dragoons. So, Dragoons 1, Teus 2. He has no responses, so I add Gund and then I add Neptibus. Figuring I could probably reestablish some advantage here. He doesn't really have any responses because I kaiju'd his Link Monster, so I normal summon the Neptibus, pay the cost, And I still have the 3rd Dragoons in deck, so I add Dragoons and then Marksman. And then after that, Dragoons triggers to add the Megalo. I figure like I can clear out some of his cards here. So I revealed the a second Teus, and then I used just to get the Marksman off, and I destroy the counter trap so that it's banished. Then I link summon into my Starboy. Reveal the Megalo, ditching Gund and Ronin Totem, and then Gund specials back the Teus, and then I add the Equip spell. Again, you know, playing a little bit more conservatively after I get my cards on board. Like, I needed to establish some kind of board presence, but overall, I just needed, you know, I should have. There's a lot of things I should have done differently, I feel, but so I tribute the Neptibus to special summon the Marksman, figuring I can get another Neptibus on the board if Marksman does battle damage. I equip the Equip spell to Megalo, so my Megalo is at 37. I go 37 over the Gamma Seal, so he takes 1,000, because Gamma Seal is also increased by 500, because my Starboy increases all waters. I go 19 over the Jack Jaguar. Jack Jaguar is at 14 because it's reduced because it's a fire monster, while my Starboy is on the board. And then he uses Gazelle, and then he uses Foul. That's another thing. I mean, that little combo there was really, really smart on Connor's part, because it allows him to basically keep himself from getting OTK'd, and then he uses Gazelle's effect to send the Falco, which allows him to set the circle. So then I go Teus over the Gazelle for 2,200. Again, increased by 500 by my Starboy. He uses the Balinx Engrave. And then I go Marksman over Gazelle. Another Balinx, and then Megalo over Gazelle. I figure like getting his level 3s off board at least keeps him from going into Magistelio, so he can get his Foul. But you know, if I get off his, or if I get his Gazelle off the board and he draws another level 3, it'll keep him from getting the Magistelio. But either way, you know, I mean, he has other plays. I mean, he has the circle set, so like, but even if he has a circle set, I do have the Equip spell as well. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in this particular game. You know, a lot of factors to consider, but he uses Falco's effect, special summons it by adding back a Salamangreat to the board from the board to the hand. He then activates, or does he? Nope. See, normal summons Foxy. And he uses Foul's effect to chain to Foxy. And then he special summons the Spinny. And see, this is where Salamangreat gets really, really strong, because they can just, again, reestablish very quickly, just off of 1 or 2 card combos, literally just reestablish very, very easily. Even though I have a bit of a, you know, a board to crack, it's not a board of any disruptions other than the spell card, which, you know, it is kind of putting him in a bit of a bind. It seems he needs to activate the circle to get off one of the play that he wants, but either way, I mean, he's reestablishing very nicely, so there's really not too much of a problem. It's just a matter of, you know, how to go about baiting out my Equip spell, I suppose, is his best thing to do. But, so he links, goes into the 3rd copy of Balinx. He links 2, goes into the Update Jammer, and then here comes the Borreload, and the Spinny's banished, and there's the double attacking Borreload. So that's a thing. See, with this particular situation, he didn't use Magistelia's effect this turn, so like he can use you know, the Borreload to double attack. You know, he can use the Update Jammer with the double Borreload and things like that, which basically allows him to crack my field very, very easily. It'd be one thing if I had if I set up Gaios instead, but even then he'd be able to take it. But so yeah, he steals both my Starboy and my 3,700 attack point Megalo, and then he uses Megalo to attack over Teus. and then he uses Starboy to attack Marksman, but he reduces my Marksman by 500 so that it's not the same attack as my Starboy, so that puts me behind, because otherwise he would have crashed and I would have gotten a resource back. But because of the way he did it, I didn't get that resource, and also he linked to get my equip spell out, and then he linked into the Nightmare Phoenix and then activated the circle. Basically playing around all of my all the disruption that I had, or at least the plays that I had. So I scoop it up and we decide to go to game 3. That was a really good game on Connor's part. I played as best as I could. I, again, shouldn't have played as conservatively. I feel I probably could have gone in a little bit harder, a little bit more aggressively, and then I probably might have had the game. Especially with the board of Mr. Boy, Teus, Megalo with the equip spell, and Marksman. Maybe I should have instead saved the equip spell, attacked with the double Megalo at just 29, and then overlaid the Teus and the Megalo into Gaios, and then activated the equip spell. And then the moment he summoned the Borlo Dragon, I can detach, and then negate the Borlo there. I suppose that would have been a thing, because my Gaios still would have been at 33 plus 8. He would have been at 41, and even if he baited out the equip spell, he would have been at 30. He would have been at 33. So it probably would have been a smarter play to do that. Maybe play a little bit differently. But we take those. That happens. There's not really much you can do about it. In hindsight, it just kind of is what it is. But so now we're going to game 3. And you can see Connor's taking kind of a bit to side. I mean, there's really, there are good cards to side against Mermail, especially in the current meta. I mean, one of the best sides against Mermail is Droll and Lockbird. And I know Connor plays that in his side or main deck. I'm not really sure, but I know that he plays it. And, it's a card, but there's also, Called by the Grave, which is also a card that I main deck at 3 because Mermails need their combos. I mean, Mermails are similar to Salamangreat in that they can do 2 or 3 card combos that are really crazy, but I need to see Neptibus or Dragoons with a discard outlet. So I go first. I normal summon Neptibus. He activates Veiler, which is pretty strong, but I still get to pay the cost, so I send the Dragoons for cost. And then Dragoons triggers. I add another copy of Neptibus, figuring I can discard it and get another summon get a summon back. So I then reveal the Teus, ditching the Neptibus, and then Neptibus 1, Teus 2. And he's thinking, because he has other hand traps. So he both Veilers and DD Crows my Veilers my Teus, and then DD Crows my Dragoon, so that I can't summon it back. But then I link summon into Link Karibo with the Neptibus on board. I reveal Teus and ditch the heavy infantry, and then I overlay into Gaios. Link Karibo Gaios, not the best board, but at the same time, not the worst thing I could have set up given the circumstances. He activates Foolish Burial. I mean, I've had to play through DD Crow and 2 Veiler. Pretty crazy thing to have to play through, especially with Mermail, considering he can do a lot of things. But after that, he sets 1 after Foolishing and then passes turn. He literally drew a lot of hand traps. I normal summon the Diva, attempt effect. Special summon the Neptibus. Neptibus, pay the cost, send Dragoons. Add the Marksman, Dragoons, add the Megalo. Reveal the Megalo, discard the Marksman and the Gamma Seal, and that would have been, it wouldn't have been necessarily game, only because the Megalo couldn't have attacked, but even then I would have been able to link off with the Gaios and then attack with the Megalo 2 times anyway. But my side were the Solemn Scoldings. I sided out the Ash Blossoms. That's the weird side deck card that I have for going first. I figure it's the most thorough of the Solemns. It allows me to basically negate anything, a summon, a spell, a trap, a monster effect, anything, and I don't really set cards in Mermail unless I set a Called by the Grave, in which case I'd rather set the Scolding anyway. So I figured that Solemn Scolding is a decent side deck card in a deck like Mermail if you're playing, if you're not playing this deck as light version. But like I said, I also sided out the 3 Ash Blossoms. There's a lot of side deck theory that I have going on with Mermail right now, only because the deck is very it's just very reliant on whether or not your opponent has hand traps, and that being noted, you kind of have to have some kind of follow-up and things like that. But other than that, guys, really appreciate all the views you guys give us. I'll try and get my Mermail deck profile up. I just don't want to keep posting Mermail on a continual basis and just kind of annoy the shit out of people with the deck. Not that the deck I feel is annoying all the time, but I do post a lot of Mermail content, and that's why I've been trying to post like other content and things like that. I figured I'd get this duel video up now, just because I figured I'd get it out of the way, and I have other duel videos. I have one with True Draco against Connor and things like that. But aside from all that, guys, rate, comment, subscribe, leave your ideas in the comment section below. If you saw anything you disagreed with or any misplays, just let us know in the comment section. Be respectful about it. We're not perfect players. We're not pro players or anything like that. We are generally casual players. So, but all that noted, Eric here at TeamEccenTrick, and I'm signing out. Rate and subscribe, leave your comments and ideas in the comment section below, and don't hesitate to give us respectful suggestions on content you want to see. Eric on behalf of the team saying take care, and TeamEccenTrick out.